Namaha Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Asatyate Satharine Vanshakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya evacha Patitanam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasati Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Thank you to His Holiness Chandramauli Swami Maharaj. And thank all of you for being with us today. Maharaj was speaking about hearing the transcendental sound vibration of Krishna. The Bhagavatam tells, Sarinvatam Swakatha Krishna Punjas Ravana Kirtana Hridyantastohya Bhadarani Vidonoti Suritsita. That Krishna, from within the heart, destroys all impurities to that person who really develops a taste to eagerly hear His glories. There are so many subject matters in this world. There's poetry, there's music, there's news, there's prajalpa. So many things to discuss, so many things to hear, everywhere. But one who focuses their attention on hearing the glories of the Lord and really has that eagerness, that taste, is an expression of love. Krishna reciprocates. By seeing that, the Lord removes the anarthas from within and reveals Himself. In that same chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam, we learn that it's not just a matter of coming to classes to hear. Shushusho Shradanasya Vasudeva Kataruchi San Mahat Sevaya Vipra Pundya Tirtana Sevanat. One develops this actual eagerness to hear about Krishna on the spiritual platform through a service attitude, by serving not only Krishna, but by serving great souls who have taken shelter of Krishna. In essence, what this is saying the service attitude that we cultivate is the basis of how we attract Krishna. And the service attitude, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he emphasized, it means that we are not the seers. We are the objects of Krishna's seeing. We are not the enjoyers, but we are meant to be seen as objects for Krishna's enjoyment. Om Purnamada Purnamidam. Krishna is the source of everything that exists, and everything is his energies, all material and all spiritual worlds. The material conception of life is when we put ourselves in the center. We want to see and we want to enjoy what we see. And this whole material existence are so many objects. Wherever we look, we're trying to enjoy what we see, or what we taste, or what we hear, or what we smell, or what we think, or what we feel, through all of our senses. But Bhoktaram Jagatapasam Sarvaloka Maheshwaram. Krishna is the proprietor of everything that exists, and ultimately Krishna is the supreme enjoyer. For a devotee, wherever we look, we are thinking how Krishna can enjoy. This is Krishna's property. This is Krishna's person, meant for Krishna's enjoyment. He's the center. How could I facilitate? How could I serve him? If you see another person, another human being, the tendency is we want to enjoy them. Pungshastriya maituni bhavametam. This attraction between the male and female, or in the age of Kali, it's not limited to that. But this idea of we see another person as the object of our enjoyment. Bhakti is that other person is the object of Krishna's enjoyment. And I'm also the object of Krishna's enjoyment. So how to serve in such a way to utilize everything for Krishna's enjoyment? Even when we come to the temple to see the deity, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur and Prabhupada would quote him, don't try to see Krishna, but try to behave and act and live in such a way that Krishna is very pleased to see you. We are the object. Krishna is the subject. And when we accept this state of consciousness, then the soul is liberated from the false ego, which is under the conception that I am the enjoyer, I am the doer, I am the proprietor, I am the controller. Then the true nature of the soul, its blissful nature, is revealed. And yeyatamam prapadyante tam stadaiva bhajamyaham. According to how we develop this type of service attitude, that Krishna is the center, and let me behave in such a way that Krishna is happy to see me, then Krishna reveals himself accordingly. And then there's real happiness. It is just like in Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, it describes the nature of the gopis. The gopis, they didn't care anything about themselves. They only were concerned with what gives Krishna pleasure. They would dress and decorate themselves only because it's what Krishna wanted them to do. And it was for real, it wasn't imagination. Krishna called them on his flute, and they abandoned everything. It didn't matter what happened to them. Krishna will be pleased. Ashlisya vapādaratam panashtrumam. And if it pleases you, Krishna, that I never get to see you again, then let it be. If it pleases you that I'm alone somewhere suffering in separation from you, never seeing you, then let it be. Whatever makes you happy. If my suffering makes you happy, that's my happiness. Bhaktivinoda Thakur prayed, the suffering, the miseries that I endure in serving Krishna are my greatest happiness. Because it's for Krishna. This is the consciousness. This morning we were speaking about Ranti Dev and Vasudev Datta. It may seem very inconceivable how Vasudev Datta is actually willing to suffer hellish conditions for the rest of eternity just so that everyone else can be free from sins and enjoy Krishna. Is this for real? Can anyone really think like this? You see, for Vasudev Datta, his happiness is Krishna's happiness. So if Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who came to deliver the whole world, if he's happy that everyone else goes back to Godhead, then Vasudev Datta in his hellish sufferings will enjoy better than anybody else. Because he's not enjoying for himself. His enjoyment is in giving Krishna pleasure. So by doing this, he's giving Krishna pleasure. Now, if he's not thinking like this, that I'll enjoy a higher happiness because I'm giving Krishna pleasure. He's only thinking of giving Krishna pleasure. But in his suffering, he will give Krishna the greatest pleasure. The gopis enjoyed the deepest suffering, but the highest pleasure of seeing Krishna most intimately within the core of their hearts when Krishna was in Mathura and Krishna is in Dwarka. They were crying. And Krishna was enjoying watching them cry from within the heart. Now, why would anybody who loves, the perfect lover, enjoy seeing their beloved cry? Because he understood the nature of their tears. They wouldn't go to Dwarka because they knew Krishna wanted them in Vrindavan. And they wouldn't give up their lives because they knew Krishna wanted to enjoy that love and separation. So actually the gopis were in the highest ecstasy in their suffering because Krishna was the subject. They were the object. Krishna was the seer. They were the seen. And hankering to see Krishna, because of the love in which they were hankering to see Krishna, Krishna was enjoying seeing them. But actually, their hankering wasn't just to see Krishna. It was to their hankering to see Krishna was only because that hankering gave Krishna satisfaction. So this is bhakti. We cannot see Krishna through our eyes, but we see Krishna through hearing the subject matter from the scriptures and from the Vaishnavas. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, when he would go to the Jagannath temple in Puri, he would stand behind the Garuda Stamba, same place Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would stand. And the reason he did this, he said, is because Garuda's a Param Vaishnav. He's a great devotee. He's a lover of God, of Jagannath. And Jagannath will certainly be looking at him because of his great surrender and devotion. And when Jagannath, it's not that you see, of course, we have not been in Jagannath's temple, but we've been to Rath Yatra. Jagannath has very big eyes, very large lotus-like eyes, bigger than any eyes in this entire world. And he sees everything and he sees everywhere. But the question is, what is he pleased to see? Because Krishna sees not only our bodies, Krishna sees our desires, our motivations, our intentions, but he's not pleased to see us. When we come before the deities, we may say, oh, Krishna's dressed so nicely. And it's not that Radha, Gopinath are like some sort of Bollywood cinema that we go to see. You know, what are they wearing today? And that's all right. It's better than going to the Bollywood cinemas. But if we really are in the mood of a Vaishnava, of a devotee, we come before Krishna so that Krishna is happy to see us. One day Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur was standing in Sri Chaitanya Mat in front of the deities, Gandharvika Giridhari, without his spectacles. And one of his disciples said, should I get your spectacles so that you can see the deities properly and have darshan? And he said that seeing Krishna is not that easy, the spectacles. He said we should not be trying to see Krishna. When we stand before the deity, we should be meditating on how we can develop the qualities and the characteristics by which Krishna will really be pleased to see me. And then Krishna actually reveals himself to us. So when Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati was behind the Garuda Stamba, his logic was, because Krishna is pleased, he won't be pleased to see me, but he's pleased to see Garuda. So if I'm standing just behind Garuda, he'll see me too. But he'll see me behind his devotee. And then he may be pleased with me. This wanting to be the enjoyer, this observing material nature as the objects of our satisfaction, rather than seeing everything and everyone as the objects of Krishna's satisfaction, including ourselves, is the cause of envy. As long as we put Krishna in the center, there cannot be envy. Envy only happens when we put ourselves in the center. Otherwise, if we see someone else prospering better than us, we're happy. We're in ecstasy. Because we're thinking Krishna must very much enjoy seeing this person being empowered in the spiritual setting. This person is doing such wonderful service. Krishna's enjoying seeing this person's service. Why should I compare myself to that person? Garland makers, someone makes a better garland than us. A cook, someone makes a better preparation than us. A kirtan, someone sings better, gives a better lecture. Someone manages better. Someone builds a bigger and better temple. Someone, has more people honoring them. Whatever it may be in Krishna consciousness. Someone has a better son, well-behaved. If we see somebody's doing well, we think, Krishna's getting enjoyment from seeing what this person is doing. That makes me happy. But if I'm the center, and we're thinking, why am I not getting that recognition? Why am I not getting that empowerment? Why am I not getting those benefits? Why am I not enjoying the way this person is enjoying? It's because we're seeing the world as the objects of our enjoyment. instead of the objects of Krishna's enjoyment. It is very simple, but it's the foundation. Hiranyakashipu, he thought himself to be the seer. He said to Prahlad, you talk about this Vishnu, the Supreme Lord, where is he? Show him to me. And Prahlad said, well, actually first, Hiranyakashipu said, where do you get your power? That we can't destroy you. And Prahlad, he didn't take credit for anything. He said, the same place you get your power, the same place everyone gets their power, from Krishna. Hiranyakashipu was outraged. To him, that was an insult. That his power was coming from Krishna. This is my power. I performed tapasya for so long to get this power, and you're trying to give credit to someone else? This is very hard for the ego. When you do something, you work really hard, and then all the credit goes to somebody else. Have you ever had that experience? It could actually be very depressing if you're not transcendental. It could be very purifying too. You do so much, you sacrifice so much for so many years, and then all the credit's given to someone else. So imagine Hiranyakashipu, 100 celestial years he was standing on his tiptoes with his hands raised without breathing. His body was being eaten away by ants until there was nothing but a skeleton standing like that. His arms were raised, not like the Panchatattva. He was chanting his own names, not Krishna's name. What an austerity. It was painful. We have to understand this seriously. It's not that the ants were eating him away and he was just thinking, oh, no problem. He was just bearing it, tolerating it, so deeply fixing his mind on the object of his meditation that he could bear all of these sufferings. They drank all his blood, they ate all his flesh, and he was still standing there. Didn't eat, didn't drink, didn't sleep. And that's how he got all his powers. Brahma came down and benedicted him with powers because of his tapasya. And here his 5-year-old little son, he tells Hiranyakashipu, I got my powers from the same place you did, from Krishna, from Vishnu. Vishnu was, according to Hiranyakashipu, the murderer of his brother. It's a major insult. You talk about this Vishnu, where is he? Prahlad said he's everywhere. What does it mean that he's everywhere? It means he hears everything. He sees everything. He feels everything. The sunshine is everywhere, emanating from the sun. And Krishna, even personally, is in and between every atom as the Paramatma. It's at Hokshaja, inconceivable, unbelievable, beyond intelligence, beyond logic. This is God. Hiranyakashipu said, oh, he is everywhere. Is he in this pillar? Prahlad said, yes, he's in the pillar also. So Hiranyakashipu wanted to see him and kill him. And he smashed the pillar with his fist, and drew his sword and went to sever the head of Prahlad. And little Prahlad, gigantic Hiranyakashipu, with the best of all of his swords. He ran toward him to sever his head. And Prahlad had no defense himself. But he wasn't afraid, as Chandramauli Maharaj was explaining. If one really takes shelter of Krishna, one's fearless. Bhajahure manasri nandanandana abhaya charanarabindare. My dear mind, just worship the son Sri Nandanandana, and you will be fearless. This world is a place of fear. The ego finds so many reasons to be fearful. Because padam yadvi padam natesham, there is danger at every step in this world, on every level. Physically, emotionally, intellectually, mentally. Prahlad was fearless because he didn't think himself to be the seer. He understood Krishna as the seer. Therefore, he had no animosity even to his father. His concern is simply, Krishna, whatever makes you happy. If I'm thinking of you with love, you're happy. And if I die thinking of you with love, you'll be happy that I'm thinking of you with love. So it doesn't matter if I die. If I get some terminal disease, if I lose everything I have, if people hate me, what's important is I'm faithful to you. You're the center of existence. If you're enjoying my consciousness, then it doesn't matter what happens to me. I'm happy. So then the pillar began to tremble, shaking. And there was this loud noise coming, a shrieking sound. A sound that nobody has ever heard before. Hiranyakashipu was looking in all directions. Where is that coming from? Then he saw the pillar trembling. Suddenly it cracked open, and from the pillar, Lord Narahari. He was gigantic form. The Bhagavatam goes many verses of graphic descriptions of Lord Narasimha Dev. As Hiranyakashipu was looking, trying to size him up. Trying to see the vulnerable places he could attack. He was trying to measure his strength. Because that's what you do when you're fighting somebody. You have to measure their strength and look for their weaknesses and their vulnerabilities. He was trying to see God. But actually God was seeing him. And in the end, Hiranyakashipu was destroyed. And little Prahlad, because Krishna enjoyed seeing him so much. Why? Because Prahlad didn't want to see, Prahlad wanted to see him, but he wanted to see him with love. He wanted to see him in the way that he was giving pleasure to the Lord. You are the enjoyer. Let me see you enjoying me. Not that I want to see you to enjoy you. That is the mood of the Srimad Bhagavatam. The Lord comes in many forms. Chandramauli Maharaj was explaining how we should be very eager to hear. But when we come to hear, the Spirit is, we come to serve the Lord. It's not just that when we hear about Krishna, we enjoy the darshan of Hari Katha, but rather we surrender our attentiveness, our consciousness, because the Hari Katha is none different than Krishna. It's Krishnan sound vibration. We want to give Krishna pleasure by our attitude, by our eagerness, by our attentiveness. This is a very different way of looking from an ordinary perspective. Hari Katha means we want to be enjoyed by the sound vibration. That we're trying so hard to listen so attentively, and we're so much trying to apply these instructions, these examples to our own life. And when we really do have a serious, enthusiastic attitude to serve others, especially great souls, then when we come to attentively hear about Krishna, Krishna's pleased. And that sound vibration will reveal darshan, which means realizations. Krishna is not different than his name. When we come to chant the holy names, it's not just how we feel when we're chanting. How does Krishna feel when we're chanting? When we have this quality of Trinadapi Sunichena Tharo Ibasahishnuna, Amanina Manadena Kirtaniya Sadahari, when we're actually in our life, we're humble, we're tolerant, forgiving, really eager to keep Krishna in the center of our life, when we offer all respects to others and not demand or expect it for our own self. And in that state of mind, we're sincerely, genuinely trying to focus our mind on the holy name with whatever capacity we have. Krishna's pleased. A person who's egoistic may be concentrating on the holy name and hearing the syllable very nicely, but Krishna's not interested in hearing that person chant. In other words, we shouldn't just chant so that we could hear the chanting. The idea is we should chant so that Krishna's pleased to hear us chanting. The more Krishna's pleased to hear us chanting the holy name, the more he's going to give darshan in his holy name to us. It may be in separation, it may be in meeting. But this unselfish, selfless spirit of service extends to every aspect of our life. That's the beauty of life, the real art of living, according to the Srimad Bhagavatam. Is Krishna's in the center. Krishna's the subject and I'm the object. Krishna's the subject and everything within creation is object for his satisfaction, for his enjoyment. And let my happiness be his happiness. And nothing can impede that joy. Prabhupada said 99% of our advancement is through the chanting of the holy names of the Lord. But through the process of hearing, we have to understand very clearly what really is the process of chanting the holy names of the Lord. there may be many excellent techniques to better concentrate, which are very good, very, very good. But Krishna is not pleased just by concentration. Krishna is pleased by devotion. And that means the character of our life. Concentration is a part of it, that eagerness. Krishna is pleased when we really, really want to absorb ourselves in remembering Him. Man mana bhava mad bhakto mad yajim namaskaro. He says, always think of me, become my devotee. Worship me and offer your homage to me. It's not just only always think of me. We have to put all these together. Krishna says, always think of me, but how to always think of Him? As His devotee. We are His devotee. We are thinking of Him. A devotee means, my Lord, how can I please you? How can I serve you? I am yours. Worship me. That means whatever makes you happy is my happiness. Offer homage to me. That means we're not concerned with people offering homage to ourselves. We want to see the whole world offering homage to Krishna. When we have that consciousness, then our thinking of Krishna really gives pleasure to Krishna. And Krishna only wants to give pleasure to us. But this is how. Krishna wants to give us all of His love. And all He asks in return is whatever little love our jiva has, we just offer that to Him. And then whatever love He has is the Paramatma, the Supreme Bhagavan. He's willing to give that in return. Marriage disputes, conflicts between religions, conflicts between gurus, disciples of gurus, conflicts between sexes and races, conflicts between nations, conflicts between every aspect of human society, animal society, plant society, insect society, fish society, jiva sajivanam. Everyone was trying to eat each other one way or another. It's all manifesting from this one illusion, forgetting that Krishna is the center of everything. Krishna is the enjoyer. I am the enjoyed. Krishna is the seer. I am the seen. This is the spirit of service. And when we have faith in this principle through hearing, and we honestly and earnestly make that our goal in life and strive to live by those principles, accept what is favorable for developing those virtues and reject what is unfavorable, then Krishna sees our earnest and honest attempt. And even if we fail so many times due to our very strong conditionings, Krishna is very pleased that we really want that. We want to put Krishna in the center of our lives. We want to put Krishna in the center of the world. He's already, but where we really want to accept it and surrender to that, then Krishna will give us all help. And even the difficulties we endure in the process will only bring us closer and closer to Krishna. Rupa Goswami wrote that if you want to remain attached to your family, friendship, and love on the material platform of this world, do not go to Vrindavan, to the bank of the Yamuna at Keshi Ghat, where Sri Govindadeva is standing in his beautiful form, dark like a monsoon cloud, with elongated, beautiful, lotus-like eyes, in his threefold bending form, placing his flute to his reddish lips, which are shining in the moonlight. Yes, this vision of Krishna, he's willing to reveal it to all of us, within our hearts, on the altar. We're seeing Krishna and thinking, oh, very nice, today he looks very nice. But if we're actually seeing Krishna, we're seeing Krishna. But he's not revealing himself to us very much. If he is, we'll be in ecstasy. We'll be seeing God. We'll be seeing what Rupa Goswami's talking about. He's there. Premanjana churita bhakti vilochanena. But according to our eyes, endowed with love, with the salve of love, Krishna reveals himself. We cannot force our way into the spiritual world. We can't force our way to realization. Everything can only come by mercy. And Krishna bestows his mercy and reveals himself according to the devotion and love that we are describing today. It is for this purpose, with this mood, that we interact with each other in the mood of the servant of the servant of the servant. Because that's what pleases Krishna. To the degree we want to please ourselves, to that degree we're bereft of true bhakti. What will please Krishna? How I deal with other people, how I deal with Vaishnavas as their servant, happy to see them progressing, sad to see them having setbacks. That pleases Krishna. Trying to uplift the conditioned souls, seeing them as Krishna's children in forgetfulness and trying to bring them back according to what works, not according to what we like to do. Srila Prabhupada adjusted himself in so many ways to actually connect to people's hearts because he really cared, because he knew that's what Krishna wants them, reconnected. Even if you have to break some smarta rules to reach them, try to reach them. That's what Krishna wants. Try to make that connection for them. And when we look at the world, wherever Srila Prabhupada looked, he was thinking of what will please Krishna. We were listening the other day to the reading in the Prasadam Hall. Prabhupada would see a garden someplace and he would call the leader of Mayapur and say, we should take photos of this garden. We should have something like this in Mayapur. Then he would see something else somewhere else and he would call the president of the Detroit temple. We should have something like this here. Go and show somebody. Wherever he was looking, he was thinking of how to please Krishna. And what pleases Krishna most? Pleasing his devotees and attracting conditioned souls back to Krishna's lotus feet. And the more everyone makes spiritual advancement, the more everyone is empowered, the more everyone is happy in that state, the more Krishna's happy. So that should be our happiness. Then there's no envy, there's no jealousy. The only competition is who could serve each other better. That's Krishna consciousness. And with that beautiful state of mind, when we come together to chant the holy names, how Krishna is so happy. Because we're flooding the world with the pure vibration of selfless devotion. And Krishna is actually manifesting himself in the holy name to ourselves and to the whole universe when we chant in that spirit.